Good afternoon, students. Oh, anybody here? I think people are here. Falguni is here. Good afternoon, Falguni. Good afternoon, Monisha. Hardly 8 people. So it is 1:55, yeah? 1:57 already. Great. Good afternoon, Shalini. Good afternoon, Shivraj. All of you are like from Asan itself? Malnad Engineering College. Huh. Am I wrong? The college is in Asan? Falguni is based on Asan. MC Sasan, you are not from Falguni. You are not from Asan, Falguni. Yeah, Malnad College of Engineering. Been there few times. Those were the days. Those were the beautiful days. 158. No, only 23 year. Huh. 30 joined in. Mhm. 159. Okay, let me. I'll be back in a second. Chalo, it's 2 o'clock. Let me start. Um, Now I'm confused. I think I'll finish off morning's topic. Uh, Cubes, no, not cubes. Before going to cubes, let me finish it off. Uh, yeah, let me do few problems on it. Sorry. Um, yeah. Can you guys answer this question? Below diagram shows a hollow cylinder. Below diagram shows an hollow cylinder. Good afternoon, Tejas. Come, everyone, start solving the problem. I'm not getting any answers. I just want to finish a few problems on this and then move on to the cubes. Uh, Before moving on to cubes, I thought I'll finish it off, and there are only 60 people as of now. Let them join in. Let them not miss at least the cubes. 70, very good. It's a good jump. Below diagram shows a hollow cylinder if R is equal to 2, R is equal to 2, R is equal to 6, and H is equal to 8. So this is a cylinder. If you want to find like the volume of it, good, good. If you want to find the volume of it, you need to subtract the smaller cylinder from the bigger cylinder. We have already find out the cylinder is represented as pi r squared h. So the smaller cylinder will be represented. I'll just write the equation for you. Pi r squared h, capital R minus pi r squared h. You can keep pi and h common. R squared minus r squared, where r is given as 6 and small like 8 pi into 6 square minus 2 square. 6 square is 36, 2 square is 4, 32 into 8 is 256 pi. 256 pi. Great. Moving on to the next question. Yes. Now this question looks tricky. Now this question looks tricky, but I have already dealt with the concept. 14. Tell me, how does that water in that container looks like geometrically? Not mathematically, geometrically. How does it look like for you guys? How does it look like? Just let me know the water inside the container. How does it look like for you guys? What happened? The afternoon session, people are not responding to me. Yes, Falguni. Accurately, you're right. It is a triangular based pyramid. Right angle triangle? Monica, it's a volume. You are saying to me a two-dimension entity. I need a three-dimension entity. The box itself is Prashant. It is a cuboid. The box itself is a cuboid, but water inside the box is not looking like a cuboid for me. Yeah, it looks like a triangle-based pyramid, and we have already discussed the volume of the triangle-based pyramid is 1 by 6 LBH. In this case, we don't have LBH, we have XYZ. It is 1/6 of X, Y, and Z. That's all the answer is. 1 by 6 into X, Y, and Z. That is 12 into 14 into 16. 2's you need 14 into 16, that is 225 minus 1, 224. 224 into 2 is 448. 14 into 16, don't try to multiply it, you write it as 15 square minus 1. 15 square minus 1. 15 square is 225, minus 1 is 224, into 2 is 448. Please, the answer, key to the answer is in how you imagine this water. It looks like, a triangular based pyramid. Which is the base of the triangle? I don't care, anything can be base of the triangle. The front face can be the base, uh, EFB can be the base, BFG can be the base, even EFG is also possible. No matter whichever is the base, the formula for the three-dimensional pyramid will always be like this. Now, moving on, this question. Mechanical students, read this question and let me know what concept are we going to use to solve this problem. What's the concept that we are going to use to solve this problem? Mechanical and civil both have learned this concept. What is this concept called as? What theorem? A rectangular cube of edge 16 centimeters is immersed completely in a rectangular vessel containing water. If the dimension of the any answers? What happened to this group? Did you had heavy lunch? Are you feeling sleepy? Is there a big lag? Okay, I'll only say. We are gonna use the principle of buoyancy. What it says is the amount volume of displaced liquid, volume of displaced uh, liquid will be equal to will be equal to volume of displaced liquid will be equal to volume of foreign foreign body. Volume of displaced liquid is equal to volume of foreign body. Here the foreign body is a 16 centimeter edged cube. This cube is dropped into a container which already consists of liquid. Let's say the earlier it had liquid up to this mark. Now the liquid value would have increased by h. Why would have been why it would increase? Because this volume is extra, right? The change in volume is attributed to the volume of this cube. The change in volume is attributed to the volume of the cube. So the volume of this cube is 16 cube, and hence the change in volume. The change in volume will be this height. This itself is your change in volume. 25 into 16 into h. So what is this h? What is this h? Is the question. H is equal to 16 square divided by 25. Can I also write this like this way? Um, 16 by 5 whole square. 16 by 5 whole square. 16 by 5 whole square. If I write it as 16 by 5 whole square, I can also write it as h is equal to 3.2 whole square. Can anybody tell me what is 32 square? Computer science engineers, electronics engineers, what's 32 square? What is 32 square? 32 square is 1024. If 32 square is 1024, 3.2 square is 10.24. 10.24 centimeter in this case. So the volume displaced will be equal to 10.24 centimeter. Now try the next question. A circular gross lawn of 35 meter in radius has a path of 7 meter wide. This is a circular gross lawn. Mhm. The radius is 35 meter. Okay, so I'll put it like this. This is the radius of 35. The gross lawn as uh, a path. This is the path. This is the path they are talking about. This is the path. The radius of that would be, the width of the path is 7. So then the radius will be 42. What's the area of the path? Outer circle minus inner circle will give you the answer. Outer circle minus inner circle will give you the answer. Pi into 42 square minus 35 square. Pi, I'll write it as 22 by 7 because these two both are multiples of 7. So it is easily divisible by 7. Uh, 42 minus 40, a square minus b square can be written as a plus b into a minus b. A minus b is 7. A plus b is 77. 7 7 cancel. Here there is 7. Here there is 2. 2 sevens are 14. 14 into 11 into 11. So how I'll do 14 into 11 into 11? 14 into 11 is 145. 154. This into 11 is 1 4. 5 plus 4 9. 5 plus 1 6. 1694. I hope you know how to multiply by 11. I hope you know how to multiply by 11. The answer is 1694. 1694 units meter square. 1694 meter square. That's a huge area. Uh, I hope you got it. I used a minus b into a minus b is 7, a plus b is 77. So 7 7 I cancelled it. This number has 2, this number has 7. 2 into 7 is 14. Both the numbers has 11. I kept 11 aside because multiplication with 11 is always easy. 14 into 11 is 1 this side, 4 this side, 1 plus 4, 5. 154 into 11 is 1 this side, 4 this side, uh, 5 plus 4, 9, 5 plus 1, 6, 1694. That's how I multiply with 11. I hope you understood the next question. The length of the rope by which oars must be tethered. Tethered means you are going. ಅದೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಗೂಟ ಹೊಡಿಯೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಬಿಡೋದು. If you tie it up and leave it, it can roam around freely in a circle. Roam around freely in the circle. Area of 784. It's not meter. It's meter square. 784 meter square. Sorry. grace over an area of 784 meters square. Find the length of the rope. Length of the rope is nothing but r. Pi r square is 784. R squared is 784 into 7 by 22. Is this divisible by 22? Uh, is it divisible by 11 at least? 777 is divisible by 11. 784 is 7 into 110, 112 into 7 divided by 22. What is 112? 9 into 12. Mhm. 80, 8 times close 14, 8 into 14. 7 into 8 into 14 into 7 divided by 22. Very complicated. Uh, mhm, mhm. So what I'll do is I'll write this as 7 square into 2 square into this I'll make it as 11. 14 by 11. 14 by 11. 14 by 11 approximately is 1.27. 1.27. Square root of this will be 7 into 2, 14. 14 into 1.27. This is what I got. 14 into 1.27. Yeah, 14 into 1.27 is approximately 1.2, 2.8, 4.2, 0.4. It should be approximately 18, I think. How are you getting 15.79? I think I have made probably calculation mistake. No, I don't think I have made calculation mistake. 2 square is 4. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everyone got 15.8. So you guys are using calculators. Somehow I'm getting 18. You're getting 15.8. Yeah, if you got 15.8 and all of you got 15.8, it should be right. Please try to do the calculation for this step. You would probably end up with the answer. That's all the logic is. Um, Try the next question. I have another 10 minutes and I had to finish another one, two, three questions at least. Uh, in a semicircle, find the area of largest square that can be inscribed in a semicircle of r units. There is r units, r units. Uh, no, I have divided it for the 11. I have divided it for the 11. Find the largest area, largest square that can be inscribed. So the largest square, let's say it looks like this. This is square, right? All the four sides should be equal. It will look like this. Inscribed means it had to touch. It had to touch the circumference. All the vertices should touch the circumference. Here, this base also acts as circumference only. and the base also acts as circumference only. Now, you guys can imagine this. Can you tell me what is this red line? What is this red line? Radius. And let's say this is A and this is R. So doesn't this look like a right angle triangle? What is this again? What is this green line? What is this green line? What is the green line? Green line, Sanjay says it is R by 2. Mhm. Sorry, Sanjay. It is not R by 2. You have no idea whether it's R by 2 or not. No, Sanjay, it's not R by 2. Anybody else? Yeah, Monica. It is A by 2. It's not R by 2. It's definitely A by 2. R2 minus. This is A by 2. This is A. This is R. Now you can put up the Pythagoras theorem. A square plus A by 2 whole square is equal to R square. So 4 5 a square by 4 is equal to r square. So a square, that is nothing but the area of the square. The largest area of the square, the largest area of the square that can be inscribed, inside a semicircle is 4 by 5 r square, 4 by 5 r square, 4 by square r square. Can you do this same question? I hope you understood this kind of problem right now. I'll show you one more problem. Why don't you do this for a full circle? Why don't you do this for a full circle? Full circle is actually very easy. What's the largest square that can be inscribed in a full circle? There can be only one square that can be inscribed in a full circle. Inscribed. Properly inscribed. Tell me what's the largest square that can be inscribed in a full circle, not a semicircle. You know, area of a square in terms of diagonal. Do you know what's the area of a square in terms of diagonal? Of radius r. Of radius r. Let's say the radius is r. Can you tell me what's the area of a square in terms of diagonal? Diagonal. Diagonal. No answer. Somehow everyone are stuffed with a lot of food. Chalo, chalo. In terms of diagonal, you don't know what's the area of a square? Chuk, 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 chuk. Okay, let's talk about the square first. And this the length is called as diagonal. If this is a, this is a, d square is equal to a square plus a square. Um, so 2a square is equal to d square. So a square, that's also area of the square, will be equal to d square by 2. Will be equal to d square by 2. In this case, the diagonal of the square, is equal to 2r. Diagonal of the square is equal to 2r. So your answer is 2r square. Diagonal is equal to 2r. You know area of the square in terms of diagonal is d square by 2. Put d is equal to 2r. 2r whole square divided by 2. So answer is 2r squared. Area of a square that can be inscribed. Area of a square that can be inscribed uh, in a circle. The largest area that can be inscribed in a circle is 2r squared. 2r squared. That's it, people. Uh, do this one last question. Not important. Do this one last question. 226 already. I need to start cubes as well. Two ships are sailing in the sea on the two sides of the lighthouse. Two ships are sailing in the sea on the two sides of lighthouse. Is observed from the ships are 30-degree and 45-degree respectively. If the lighthouse is 100-meter high, the distance between the two ships, the distance between the two ships, two ships are sailing in the sea on the two sides of the lighthouse. There's a lighthouse. Let's say we will put a beacon. That's the lighthouse. And there's a ship on both the side. Ship or boat or vessel, whatever you want to call it, call it. So now, if the lighthouse is 100-meter tall, 100-meter high, 100-meter high, the angle of elevation of the top. The elevation means when you look above. If you want to look at something and if you are looking upwards, when if you want to look at something and if you are looking upwards, like or the terrace of your building. If you have a building, you are standing in front of a building. You had to look to the terrace. So how do you look to your terrace? You had to gaze like this. The angle that is made, the angle that is made to your horizontal, the angle that is made to your horizontal, for whichever direction you are looking, your gaze is towards this. This is called as angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. The angle of depression is opposite, but it will be made for if you want to look down at me. I am standing here and you are on the top of the terrace. You want to look down to me, but here the angle will be made with vertical. The angle will be made with vertical. Here it will be made with horizontal. That one element you need to understand. That one element you need to understand. Now the lighthouse is observed from the ships 30-degree and 45-degree respectively. So this one will have a 45-degree angle. This one will have a 30-degree angle. 30-degree angle. So do you guys know what is cos theta? I think cos is better or sin is better in this case. Cos is better or sin is better? Which one is better? You had to find this line and sum of these two lines. That gives you the entire distance. That gives you the entire distance. According to me, tan is also okay. Tan is also okay. Sin is also okay. Cos is also okay. Everything is okay only. But the problem is which one is the best to use. Look, times the sine, tan, cos, all are the functions of the same element. Ah, tan is better. Tan is actually better. Tan gives you opposite by adjacent, and for both the elements, the opposite is given. The opposite is 100 meter. The opposite is 100 meter. You need to find out this adjacent one for 45 degree, and you need to find out this adjacent for 30 degree. So adjacent is equal to opposite by tan 45 degree for the first one, tan 30 degree for the second one. And you know, tan 45 degree is 1 opposite. 100, A1 is 100, A2 is 100. Tan 30 degree is 1 by root 3. Tan 30 degree is root 3 by 2. Sin is 1 by 2. Root 3 by 2. Huh. So A2 is 100 root 3. This is 100. This is 100 root 3. So answer is 100 plus 100 root 3, or you can roughly say it is 273 meter. Roughly say it is 273 meter. Considering root 3 to be 1.73. 100 into 1.73 is 173. Roughly the distance between the two ships is 273. That's enough for mensuration. I'll head on to the cubes. You have seen a cube, right? You have properly seen a cube, right? This is how the cube looks. Most of the problems in cubes that we are going to solve, um, you see this Rubik cube. It's not even typical Rubik cube I'm talking about. Uh, Here, mhm, mhm. So, can you, you guys are mechanical engineers, some of you are mechanical engineers, some of you are computer science engineers, some of you are electronics engineers. Can you look at this Rubik cube? Can you look at this Rubik cube and tell me mathematically what matter it mathematically what function this Rubik cube looks like? What function or what type this Rubik cube looks like? Let me know. Put it in your comments. Good, Prajwal. Mathematically, it looks like a matrix. Very good. Any other answers? Any other elements? Computer science. How do you look at this like? Computer science students, why are you guys so slow in the afternoon? Yesterday you were okay only. Morning also you were excellent. Pixel, nice. Pixel is also a nice concept, but I've never seen a 3D pixel though. Is there a 3D pixel, Krishna? I thought of always a 2D pixel. You can call it matrix, you can call it matrix, or you can also call it as arrays. Computer science students would have learnt arrays a lot. Arrays, and mechanical students, civil students would have dealt only with matrices. Matrices. Even electrical and electronics engineers, matrices are very important. Now, let's say I want to close up on this, zoom on this. Let's say there are small cubes, right? I'll just show you how to count number of cubes. How many cubes are there on this edge? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubes are there on this edge, and there are 7 cubes on this edge, and there are 7 cubes on this edge. Can anybody guess total number of cubes in this bigger cube? Small cubes. How many small cubes are there in this bigger cube? The smaller cubes. How many smaller cubes are there? Loki's Tesseract is not stupid. Whoever has put that name, Loki's Tesseract is illusion. The Tesseract of Asgard is really good. Loki's Tesseract is not. Thank you for making me laugh. Um, I appreciate whoever did that. Um, I'll talk about Tesseract one day, I think. 294? 294? The answer is it's a three-dimensional array. Uh, now I look at it like this. Haha. So now here in the diagram that I've drawn over here, can you tell me how many small boxes are there? How many small boxes are there? There are nine. Yeah, you can count it. You can count it, or you can write it as 3 cross 3. You can write it as 3 cross 3. This is number of rows into number of columns. And there will be one more thing, M and O, that is number of stackings. Let's say, let me try to stack it like this. The first stacking, the second stacking. Oh, why is it all going haywire? The third stacking. Totally, here there are 9, here there are 9, here there are 9. 9, 9 and 9. There are 3 stacks. 3 into 3 into 3. Totally there will be 27. But in the given diagram on the screen, the answer would be 7 into 7 into 7. I have no idea how did most of you got 294, but the answer is 343. The answer is 343. X, Y, and Z. There are 7 rows. Look, this is a row. 1 row, 2 row. Should I draw this? Let me. This is 1 row. This is the second row. This is the third row. Fourth row. Fifth row. Sixth row. Seventh row. There are 7 rows. There are 7 columns. And there are 7 stackings. 7 layers. First layer, blue first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven. It is 7 cross 7 cross 7. It's an array. It is a matrix or a three-dimensional matrix or a three-dimensional matrix. Computer science people call it as arrays. It is an array. It is 7 cross 7 cross 7. Or in simple terms, since the morning we did geometry in x direction, how many boxes are there? 7. In y direction, how many boxes are there? 7. In z direction, how many boxes are there? 7. So total number of boxes will be 7 cross 7 cross 7. 7 cube, that would be 343. Now let's try to understand the basic elements of cubes. What is cube made up of? Can anybody tell me how many vertices the cube has? How many points? How many points a cube has? How many points a cube has? Vertices. Vertices are the points. Vertices are points, that is a zero dimension entity. There are 8 points, 8 vertices. Very great. And how many edges are there? There are 12 edges. There are 12 edges and there are 6 faces. there are 6 faces, 8 points, 12 edges, and there are 6 faces, 8 edges, 8 vertices, 12 edges, 6 faces. Now I have one more question for you. I have one more question for you. This is very important. Uh, what does edge represents geometrically? What does edge represents geometrically? What does edge geometrically represents? And what does a face geometrically represents? Yes, Prajwal, right. Edge represents a line. How many dimension a line is? One dimension. What does a face represents? What does a face represents? Good, one dimension. Edge, line, a face, an area. And how many dimension a area is made up of? Plane is also right, surface is also right, but the most basic element of uh, geometry is we either call it line, we call it area. All the surfaces are areas, all the planes are areas. A face represents an area, an edge represents a line, and a vertex represents points, and a vertex represents points, 0 dimension, and an area represents 2 dimension. Now, why am I writing this? Why am I writing this? Now, can you tell me? Can you tell me if you are representing an area? If you are representing an area, uh, what should be the order of the equation? If you are representing an area, what should be the order of the equation? If you are representing an area, you are like, let's say face I want to represent, or face is nothing but an area. If I want to represent an area, what should be the order of the equation? The order of the equation, anything related to the face, anything related to the area, absolutely right, Prajwal. Joylin, Krishna, great. Anything related to this will be in the order of 2. It will be probably x square, y square, or something like that. Now, anything that is represents edge, anything that represents edge, what will be the order of the equation? What will be the order of the equation? Line, face, definitely right. Order is 2. The second order. Edge, the order will be 1. That is x power 1 or y power 1, something like that. What if it represents the vertices? What should be the order? The point. What should be the order? The order is 0. Now the problem is 0 dimension will be represented by order of 0. Exactly right. Now the problem is how do you write what is it called as if the order is 0? What will be the equation called as if the order is 0? What will be equation called as if the order is 0? This is one thing you need to understand. Look, every line will be represented as ax plus b or mx plus b. Here the order is 1. Very good, Falguni. If the order is 0, if the order is 0, if the order is 0, then it is nothing but ax power of 0. That means there is no x. There is no x. It is a constant. If the order is 0, if the order is 0, it's a constant. It can be 1. It can be 1. It can be any variable or any number also. Like it can be 8 also, it can be 20 also. 20 into x power of 0. 20 into x power of 0. It's just a constant. So anything related to vertices in cubes, anything related to vertices in cubes will be a constant. anything related to edge will be a first order equation, and anything related to face will be a second order equation. Now I'll explain this in detail uh, by doing some. Now, can anybody tell me the first question in cubes is three side painted. Three side painted. Look, you can observe this, right? The This Rubik cube is painted with red, blue, and white. Even on the opposite, just consider it is painted with uh, red, blue, and white. Red, blue, and white. Can anybody tell me how many three side painted cubes are there? 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 And where is this three side painted cubes? Where is this three side painted cubes? Oh, impure soul. Why are you so impure? Where are these three side painted cubes? The three side painted cubes are at vertices. If it is at vertices, anything related to vertice will be a constant. It is 8. No matter which cube you take, whatever the size is, it's always 8. 8 cubes are always three side painted. And where are those 8 cubes? Present only in the corners. These are the 8 cubes. You can see on the screen, all of them are marked. All of them are at vertices, and vertices is always fixed. So the three side painted cubes will always be constant, and it will be 8. Now let's go to the next. Two side painted cubes. Only two side painted cubes. Only two side painted cubes. Where are only two side painted cubes? Where do you find them? Where do you find them? Where do you find two side painted cubes in this Rubik cube? On the edges. Very good. It will be on the edges. Yes, it's there on the edges. It will be on the edges. Anything pertaining to this will be first order equation. It will be a first order equation. Now let's understand. Now you can see this, right? Can you see my no, you can't see my mouse also. I'll Now you can see this edge, right? This blue edge, the blue line marked edge. In this edge, don't consider there are 7 cubes. Consider there are x cubes. Consider there are x cubes. On this edge, on the blue line, don't consider there are only 7 cubes. In this picture, it is 7. Now imagine an hypothetical cube. Imagine an hypothetical cube. The number of cubes on each edge is x. Can you tell me how many of them? How many of them are two side painted? Only two side painted. How many of them are only two side painted? If there are x number of cubes on that edge, if there are x number of, on this edge, please, only on this edge, please, only on this edge, please. If there are x number of cubes, if there are x number of cubes on this edge, how many cubes? Yeah, thank you, Ujjwal. Nandan, uh, Girish, thank you. Uh, if there are X number of cubes on this edge, how many cubes are two-side painted? How many cubes are two-side painted? Look, forget this 7 cross 7 cross 7 matrix. Now just imagine the same cube as x cross x cross x. I can't show you x cross x cross x. Uh, let's just try to imagine it is an x cross x cross x. So on each edge there will be x minus 2 cubes which will be painted only two sides. Only two sides. Why x minus 2? Because the corner ones, because this corner one and this corner one, it is not two side painted, it is three side painted. I should not consider the three side painted cubes. I should not consider the three side painted cubes. I should only consider everything other than these two. So x minus 2, x minus 2, everything other than those two. Like this, how many edges are there in the cube? Like this, how many edges are there in this cube? How many edges are there in this cube? In pure soul, there are 8 edges. Look at this. We have already discussed. Prajwal also says 8 edges. How, Prajwal? Look, this double lines are edges. This double lines are edges. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4 on first face. 1, 2, 3. There are 12 edges. There are 12 edges. So my final equation will go like this: 12 into x minus 2, which is only two side painted. 12 into x minus 2. I hope you understood how you got 12 and how you got x minus 2. How you got 12 and how you got x minus 2. If you want to do it for this particular question, x in this case is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 into 12 is 60. And none of you gave me an answer of 60. I never got an answer of 60. But don't worry. I hope you understood the logic between this formula. I could have directly written this formula. Two side painted will be 12 into x minus 2. What's the point if you don't understand the formula? And look at this. What is the order of the equation? It is 1. Why? Because it is related to edges. Now only one side painted. Now tell me, where do you find this one side painted cubes? Now tell me, where do you find this one side painted cubes on this cube? Spurti, Priyanka, I am confused. What is that equation? One side painted cubes will be on the faces. One side cube will be on the faces or surfaces, faces, whatever you want to call. It's nothing but the areas. Now, can you count? Let's say on this face is a matrix. This face is a matrix of x cubes in x direction and x cubes in y direction. Can you tell me? How many of them? How many of them? How many of them are only one side painted? X in this, X in this. Yeah. Look, let's not consider. Don't consider this as a 7 cross 7 cross 7 matrix. Please consider this as. An x cross x cross x. I am trying to derive a generalized equation where you can apply it to any question. Don't consider this as a 7 cross 7 cross 7. Please consider this as x cross x cross x. I'm repeating that for a way too long. Can you tell me on this face, on the front face, how many? Only on the front face. Ashita, Gansham, Impure Soul, please answer to the question. On the front face, how many of them are? Only on the front face, people. Only on the front face, people. Uh, how many of them are? Only on the front face. Look at the front face, or look at this diagram that I've written. This is okay. Let's consider this as 6 cross 6. How many of this will be? How many of this will be only one side painted? Let's consider this 6 cross 6. How many of this will be one face painted? Ah, Gansham, right. Thank you. Joylin, thank you. Uh, 25. Rangesh, how do you know 25? There are X number of cubes. See, the chat box might confuse many people there. Yes, it will be x minus 2 into x minus 2. It will be x minus 2 into x minus 2. Now, Ujjwal says 16. How do you know it is 16? Now, why it is x minus 2 into x minus 2? Now, look at this. I cannot consider every cube that's on this green line. I should not consider this. I should not consider this. Why I should not consider this? The reason is all of them are either two-side painted or three-side painted. All of them are either two-side painted or three-side painted. And I cannot consider everything that's in the bottom, because those are also either two-side painted and three-side painted. How many layers did I slice off in let's call this x direction, let's call this y direction. In x direction there were x layers, but I cannot consider the top layer, I cannot consider the bottom layer. Now how many layers are remaining in x direction, y direction? X minus 2 layers. And even in the x direction, I cannot consider the first row, first column, and I cannot consider the last column, because all of them are either two-side painted or three-side painted. I can only consider whatever remaining. This. I can consider them, but the rest surrounding them I should not consider. So what I can consider is x minus 2 in y and x minus 2 in x. So total number of elements in this array will be, in this green array will be x minus 2 whole square. X minus 2 whole square. So number of cubes which are painted only one side will be given as x minus 2 whole square. X minus 2 whole square. But how many faces are there like this? How many faces are there like this? How many faces are there like this? There are 6 faces. Hence, the total number of one side painted will be 6 into x minus 2 whole square. 6 into x minus 2 whole square. Now, no side painted cubes. No side painted cubes. Now observe, what's the order of the equation? Order of the equation is 2. Why the order of the equation is 2? Because it's related to faces. Everything related to faces will have second order, or else it is not a face you are talking about. You are talking about something else. So this is the logic that I want you to understand and digest. I don't know. I'll check what you have understood in a minute. No side painted cubes. Where do you find no side painted cubes? No side painted cubes will be inside. No side painted cubes will be inside. In all the direction. In x, in y, and even in z. In all the direction, you need to remove two layers. Now green, consider green as X. These two layers should be removed. In Y, this purple, consider this purple as 2. Those two lines should be removed. In the Z, blue line, the top one, copy, paste, and the bottom one, this should not be considered. If you remove all these layers, how much will be remaining? How much will be remaining? It will be x minus 2 whole cube. Likita, you were right. It will be x minus 2 whole cube. In each direction, you can consider only x minus 2 into x minus 2 into x minus 2. So the final answer is x minus 2 whole cube. So the final answer is x minus 2 whole cube. I'll summarize. I'll summarize the formulas. The formulas for x minus 2 whole square into x minus 2. Yeah, x minus 2 whole cube. Yeah. Uh, three side painted. Three side painted will be 8. It's a constant. Two side painted will be 12 edges into x minus 2. One side painted, 6 faces into x minus 2 whole square. No side painted. No side painted will be in the core. One core into x minus 2 whole cube. There will be only one core. There will not be multiple cores. And core is a volumetric function. Core is a volumetric function. And a volumetric function will always have a cubic equation. I hope you understood this. I hope you understood this. If you have understood this, can somebody? Okay. Let's say I'll write a diagram. Let's say I'll write a diagram. Now let's say it is split like this. It is split like this. This is not a cube. This is a cuboid. Now let's say this is split like this. You can imagine, right, the complete diagram. I don't want to write the complete diagram. You can imagine this. Let's say on I'll call I'll mark this. I'll mark this. I'll mark this. I'll mark this. Yeah. I hope you can imagine the complete diagram. I hope you can imagine the complete diagram. Uh, I don't want to write the complete diagram. You complete this diagram on your own. Let's say I'll mark this as x, y, and z. X, y, and z. Uh, let's say this is x-axis. This is x-axis. This is y-axis and z-axis. Don't tell me, sir, xyz cannot be written like this. Don't tell me xyz cannot be written like this. I can write it like this, right? X, y, and z. Let's say on the x-axis there are x number of cubes. On x-axis there are x cubes. On y-axis there are y cubes. And on z-axis there are z cubes. Can you tell me how many three-side painted cubes will be there in this cuboid? How many three-side painted cubes will be there in this cuboid? how many three side three side painted cubes will be there in this cuboid? The answer is 8. The answer is 8. Very good. You got the first question. Three side painted is 8. Great. Because all the corners and corners, whether you take cube or cuboid, it is always 8 only. It's always 8 only. So answer is 3 side. 3 side cubes is exactly 8. Now, 2 side painted cubes. If you have understood the logic, you will you will be able to tell me the answer. If you have not understood the logic, then it will be very difficult. Can you tell me how many cubes will be 2 side painted? And you know the 2 side painted will be on the edges. What answer is that? 96? 12? Oh, that means none of you have understood. None. 0 is actually a better answer. How did you get 12 or 24? What are you guys doing? Are you really counting how many cubes are there in this diagram? X minus 2 into 12. Manjushri, at least, even though you are wrong, you are not illogical. The other people are highly illogical. Come on, guys. What did you understand? Did you understand anything from these? Did you understand anything from this? Abba, thanks, Joylin. I'm happy. I'm happy. Varshita, the answer is wrong but not illogical. The rest of you, Joylin, thank you. Right answer. The rest of you, illogical answers. 48, 12, 24. What are you? What did you understand from all these things so far? Tell me if you have not understood. Chat with me. Let's try to clear out what's the confusions here. Thank you, Joylin. Thank you, Monica. Should I explain? Did you guys get the answer? Did you guys read these two people's answer? Did you understand what it means? Very good, Varshita. I'll explain. I'll explain. Time is also running out. Time is also running out. Let's say I'll take x direction. In x direction, I know there are x cubes, but I cannot consider all of them, all the cubes on this edge as two side painted. I cannot consider the corner cubes. I cannot consider the corner cubes. Arshad, where did you come up with 40, man? I cannot consider the corner cubes. So number of cubes on this edge will be x minus 2. Number of cubes on this edge will be x minus 2. Like this edge. How many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into x minus 2. And is that the only edge? No, there are other edges. Now let's consider this edge. The red edge. In this edge, since it is y direction, there are y number of cubes. Can I consider all the y number of cubes? No, I can't. I cannot consider this and I cannot consider this. These corners are three side painted. So it is y minus 2. But like this, how many edges are there? There are 4 edges. 4 edges. So 4 into y minus 2 plus in the last dimension, in the third dimension, 4 into z minus 2. Look, I was explaining the logic for this. I was explaining the logic for this so that you will be able to understand this equations. You will be able to understand this equations. I don't see, many of you understood the equation. Try, try for one side painted cubes. Try for one side painted cubes. Tell me how many cubes are one side painted. No, Monica. Sorry. Ganesh, illogical. Monica, logical, but the problem is you have written squares everywhere. You look at this cuboid and tell me where there is a square in this cuboid. Where there is a square in this cuboid. Doubt on me. No, Joylin, sorry. Again. Now let's take this space. I'll take this space. I'll take this space. I'll look at this space. The face which is made up of uh, in this line how many cubes are there? Y number of cubes. In this line how many cubes are there? X number of cubes. X number of cubes. Yo, king of hearts, right answer. This is XY face and this is XZ face and this is Y into Z face. This is X into Y face. This is X into Z face. This is, that's how it is. There is no squares. There is no squares. All of them are rectangles. And your x minus 2 whole square gives you a square. Where is a square? I don't see a square anywhere. I only see rectangles. This is front rectangle is x into y. The top rectangle is y into z. This is x into z. Your Joylin, right answer. So in this direction, in x direction, you can't consider all of them. In the x direction, you had to remove the top layer. You need to remove the top layer. You need to remove the bottom layer. So it will be x minus 2. And in the y direction, you need to remove the front layer and you need to remove the last layer. So it will be y minus 2. Like this, how many faces are there like this? One here, one in the opposite. One in the opposite. This one, let me, this one and this one. So there will be two faces like that. 2 into x minus 2 into y minus 2 plus 2 into y minus 2 into z minus 2 plus 2 into z minus 2 into x minus 2. This will be your answer. All of them are rectangles. All of them are rectangles. No squares whatsoever. No squares whatsoever. These are the equations. I'll display the equation here. These are the equation. And no side painted cube will be in the core. And the core will be expressed as x minus 2 into y minus 2 into z minus 2. If x, y and z are equal, you will get x minus 2 whole cube. If x, y and z are equal, you will get 6 into, correct. Now look at this, thing. You can probably take a screenshot of this or something like that. This is the formulas, and I tried to explain the logic. I'm running out of the time. Let's do some problems. So look, in the cubes problem, if you understand the logic properly, there is no questions to explain. How many of you did not understand? How many of you did not understand? If you have not understand, do me a favor. I have only 15 minutes now. I think I'll not be able to explain it. Uh, at 5:30, at 5:30, there will be a link for other class, right? There will be a link for other class, right? Join in, even if it takes half an hour or 1 hour. I'll make sure you'll understand. Fine. Please leave a message if you understood the concept of cubes, and you can go ahead and solve this question. A cube painted yellow on all faces is cut into 27 small cubes. Uh, if it is totally there are 27 small cubes, how many cubes are there on each edge? How many small cubes got no side painted? Please drop a message. Please drop a message. Whoever understood the cubes concept, drop it as S or no. Drop it as no also. No reply. Sorry to disappoint you guys. I tried to make you understand the logic. I don't see more many of you understood. Only Prashant is. The answer for the first question is 1. Yes, the answer for the question is 1. How do we get 1? 27 is equal to n cube. So n is equal to 3. So if you want a no side painted, it will be written as n minus 2 whole cube. 3 minus 2 is 1 cube. 1 cube is 1. Do the next question. Uh, if cube is cut into 125 smaller cubes. Okay, one, two, three, four. Four answers have said yes, they have understood. What happened to the rest? I have no idea. All surfaces of a cube are colored. Find the number of cubes with only one side painted, two side painted, and three side painted. If cubes is cut into 125 smaller cubes. Look, once you understood the concept, everything in cubes is n minus 2 function or x minus 2 function. If you know what is what, if you know what is what, you will be able to answer it quickly. One side painted, one side painted will be written as 12 into 5 minus 2. 12 into 5 minus 2 is one side painted. Why is the answer 54, 36, and 8? How? Okay, 5 minus 2. I'll only write. One side painted is 36. Two side painted is 6 into 5 minus 2 whole square. That is 9 6 54. 9 6 54. Three side painted will be in the cube in the middle. That is 5 minus 2 whole cube. That would be 27. How did you get? Not none of you have got the answers that I have written. Am I wrong? I'm getting confused. None of you. Oh, ho. That means most of you have not understood the concept. Three side painted is 8. Okay. Sorry, sorry. This will be on edges, right? 8. Three side painted will be 8. No side painted will be 5 minus 2 whole cube. That is 3 cube. 3 cube is 27. Three side painted 8. Two side painted 30. I think I am only confused. This is two side painted. This is one side painted. This is one side painted. Sorry, sorry. I hope you understood right. So do this question also. Do this question also. 54, 36, 8 is right. Thank you, Spurti. I am wrong. I know. I got to know. Sorry. Joylin, thank you. Yes. Yes. Two side is 36. One side is 54. Yes. 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 You guys are only right. You guys are only right. I was only confused. I think I was getting disappointed that most of you did not understand the logic. But no, I was stupid. Don't worry. That happens. Rule number one, people are stupid. And who are the people? You guys. And Loki's Tesseract is not stupid. I'll accept it. It is more powerful than probably nuclear energy, according to the comic books. Do you guys read comic books? Tell me what's the answer for this question. It's one of the Infinity Stones. A wooden cube of size 4 centimeter has been painted with the different colors. Two of the opposite paint only the two colors, red and black. Two of the opposite faces are painted red and the other two with green. Out of the remaining two surfaces, one is painted with white and the other is painted with black. Now the cube is cut into 64 equal cubes. Uh, la, 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 la. Two colors, red and black. Imagination is very important here. You have imagination, you do imagination. You imagine, you get the answer. There are only two edges which will share red and black. There are only two edges which share red and black, and in each edge there will be two cubes which will be colored only two sides. Am I right? It will be 2 plus 2, 4. It will be 2 plus 2, 4. There is no need for me to explain this kind of question. If you are getting confused, let's consider the this front edge is white, the back edge is black. Consider this white as only as your black, and the opposite edge is what black, white. This is the black one. So in this entire edge there are four cubes. This is the only, this is one of the edges which shares black and red. There will be bottom also, there will be one edge which shares black and red. On this entire edge there are four, but I cannot consider all the four. I need to remove two. So you got the answer, right? Everyone understood the answer. Why am I wasting time? Now do a cuboid. Now do for a cuboid. A cuboid, uh, should I increase? A cuboid of wooden block has 4 centimeter length, 3 centimeter breadth, and 5 centimeter height. It is a 4 cross 3 cross 5 matrix. Instead of x cross y cross z, instead of x cross y cross z, it is 4 cross 3 cross 5 matrix. 4 cross 3 cross 5 matrix. How many small cubes will have three faces colored? The first question is, how many small cubes will have, look, that entire the entire data given is this much only. There is nothing to read in the question. Don't even bother to read the rest of the question. Here on the side there are two questions, right? Just check out those two questions. The entire matrix given is 4 cross 3 cross 5. How many small cubes will have three faces colored? Yeah, the first question answer is 8, because this is a constant no matter what they give you. Whether they give you cubes or cuboids, this is always a constant. Now the second question answer. How many small cubes will have only one face colored? Where you find only one face colored? Where you find only one face colored, and tell me what's the answer. Where do you face? Where do you find one face colored? Where do you find one face colored? So I'll write the answer: 2 into 1, 2 into 1 into 3, 2 into 3 into 2. Sum of this: 2 2s are 4, 6, 4 3s are 12. The answer is 22. The answer is 22. Marshita got 24. Slight mistake, I think. If you have understood that, go for the next question also. Meanwhile, you can drop your attendance. Meanwhile, you can drop your attendance. I hope by now, I think it is getting more clarity with cubes. You are getting more clarity with cubes. Uh, After you just put in the attendance, read the question and let me know. Yeah, what's the answer? This is a 4 cross 4 cross 2 matrix. If you look at the diagram given, if you look at the diagram given, I'll expand the diagram. If you look at the diagram given, 4 on x direction, 4 on y direction, and 2 on z direction. So you can consider it as 4 cross 4 cross 2 matrix. 4 cross 4 cross 2 matrix. 4 cross 4 cross 2 matrix. How many cubes have only one face colored? Have only one face colored. Where do you see one face colored? Eight, eight. Two people answered eight. Varshita answered eight. Tejas answered eight. So I'll write it. It's exactly similar. So the answer will be 2 into 2 into 2 plus 2 into 2 into 0 plus 2 into 0 into 2. The answer is 8. 0. Can anybody also tell me? Let me know. I'll ask one more question. How many cubes will be three side painted? No, not three side painted. No side painted. How many cubes will how many cubes will not be painted at all? No side painted. No side painted. Of course, King of Hearts. The answer is 0. No side painted will be 0. Now, please take a screenshot of this. Please take a screenshot of this. Keep this question with you. Go home and try, work hard, and try to get the answer for this. I'll uh, I'll ask whoever comes to tomorrow's class to give you just the answer. I'm not going to give you the logic of this. You had to figure out the logic of this question on your own. Let's say it is a challenge. Consider this as a challenge. I'm not sure. I'm sure it is not uh, easy to figure out the logic. But once you figure out the logic, the answer is stupid. The answer is stupid. Till you figure out the logic, you'll worry. How do I find the answer for this question? How do I find the answer for this question? Once you find the logic and you see the answer, oh, just this. That's all. X plus X. That's all. Yeah, but you need to understand the logic, right? Let's see. Let's see. Take it as a challenge. If I come tomorrow, I'll probably give you this answer. If I don't come, I'll ask the other trainers to give the answer for this. Moment you see the answer, you'll understand the logic will also be very stupid. But figuring out the logic is not stupid. It's complicated. Let's see. Hope. Um, yeah, that will be end of the session. That will be end of the session. Please comment your feedback for the day. I hope you enjoyed both the session and you learned a lot of things in terms of logic. If you have learned if you have just added few formulas, uh, I'm sorry, that's not the intention of my teaching. That's not the intention of my teaching. My intention of my teaching would be like to make you understand the logic behind every formula that exists. I hope you learned. I hope you enjoyed. I did enjoy the morning session at least. Afternoon session, I don't see much interaction. I think you had a heavy lunch or something like that. That's okay. That's okay. It happens once in a while. Uh, Look, you are not the only person who's capable of giving feedback. Even I can give you feedbacks. Not a problem. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys. I hope I'll meet you again. Let's see. All the fate. Thank you, Varshita. Please drop in your valuable feedback. Yeah. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Mahendra. Where is King of Hearts? Where is that Loki guy? Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, Shalini. Loki, are you still there? Loki's Tesseract is not stupid. Thank you, Tejas. Thank you, Priyanka. Bye.